Sometimes you need to see somebody else's farm or have somebody look at your farm and your business through their eyes to make a change. That's what this one's all about, coming up. Welcome to Grass-Fed Life. I'm your host, Diego. Today's episode is a special episode, but it's different than special episodes from the past. This episode won't be for everybody, because today's episode is an episode all about the Growing Your Farm Business Mastermind workshop coming up in March. Both Darby and I have got a lot of questions around the workshop, and we thought that recording an episode where we can answer some of those questions and talk about the workshop would be the best way to provide answers to the people asking and everybody else. So given that, this episode is only about the workshop. So if you're not interested in the workshop, feel free to pass on this episode, guilt-free, and tune in Monday for a regularly scheduled episode of Grass-Fed Life featuring educational livestock farming content. With that, let's jump right into it. The Growing Your Farm Business Mastermind coming up this March at Primal Pastures here in Southern California. It's a unique event. It's an event that is going to bring together the online course. So anybody who signs up for the Mastermind workshop will get the online course included in the price for free. That's lifetime access and immediate access with an in-person workshop that you travel to, you come to, you can learn on farm with Paul at Primal Pastures, and then you can spend a day with me, Diego, and Darby learning from others who are in situations like you are in, trying to grow your farm and get your specific questions answered. I think people understand the FBE side of it, the online workshop. I think people understand the learning on farm side of it, but the mastermind side might be a little foreign to people. When we talk about offering a mastermind session to everybody who comes to this, what are they going to get when they show up?
Well, what they're going to get is a really awesome experience. So basically, like, the floor will be yours for a set period of time, a pretty good set period of time. And whatever it is, like whatever hurdle, whatever problem, whatever opportunity, maybe you're trying to figure out, like, how do I take advantage of this, or do I take advantage of this? Maybe you need to scale something back, like trying to figure out, like, okay, what do we cut because it's our least profitable or least favorite, or what have you. Operation on your farm, like, that's what we're going to discuss, and it's going to be a wide open, basically called a consultation, brainstorming session to solve your problems one-on-one. So it'll be you, it'll be me, and it'll be Diego. It'll be a few other participants in the room who, for the most part, are going to be sitting back and absorbing and listening. But I will tell you that some of the best solutions to problems have been in conversations that we've had in previous workshops, where we've kind of opened the floor up, and somebody will say, well, this is what I'm facing, and inevitably someone else in the room says, you know what, we faced almost that exact same thing a couple of years ago, and this is how we went about tackling it. This is how we addressed it. This was our solution, and our solution looks like this because of X, Y, Z. Insert personal context here. But we really get to tackle some big, thick, hairy problems, opportunities, whatever, that are specific to you. And that's what the mastermind is really all about, is you getting that feedback on how you can take your farm to the next level.
Because one of the potential shortcomings of an in-person workshop is you can't get your specific questions answered. You kind of get what they're serving, and what they're serving might not be perfect for your situation. Well, in this case, you're going to get what Paul's serving. You're going to get a chance to ask questions of Paul, and then you're going to get to order exactly what you want in the mastermind by asking specific questions. And these are really small groups. And we put this together based upon the conferences I've done, past masterminds I've been to, ones that worked well and ones that didn't. And we're limiting the masterminds to 15 people in the room at any given time. So 15 people, Darby and I. Why 15? Because that's a small number, it's manageable, and that means you're going to get 20 to 30 minutes yourself to be in the hot seat, per se, where you can ask your question, explain situations. Darby and I will field answers. We're going to prep people before they come by sending them a questionnaire. So we're going to have you come into the workshop already having thought about this, coming in with an itinerary of specific questions that you want to get answered. We're going to know about you from the notes that we have. So it's not going to be, we're winging it on the fly here, because we want to give people actionable advice that they can use to make a difference now, right now in 2019, to change something. And questions could be things from, should I quit my job to do this? Should I do this farmer's market or this farmer's market? Or should I start with pigs or cattle? It's really a wide open opportunity. I know people get stuck with these things, and the only other options to really dig in deep on these is to go for something like consulting. And consulting rates with yourself and other farmers, they're not cheap. So here's a way to get consulting, hear what others are going through to help give you encouragement, and also learn from them while learning on a farm that's very different than any other farm out there in the livestock space, in primal pastures, and then get an online resource that you can start learning from right away and then have forever. And that resource, when you get the Farm Business Essentials, don't look at it as just a course. It's really part of the community, because you get access to the Facebook group, which gives you continued support. I think really with everything that we do, from the Mastermind to the FBE, we want to see people take this information, run with it, and succeed. This is not a sell you on a course, take it and good luck, we'll see you down the road. There is a little bit of hand-holding there along the way, both from us and from other members of the course. And I know that's really important for you, is to see people take the knowledge that I've put out there and the knowledge that you've put out there and the mistakes that you've made, and learn from those and run with them and have a better life for them and their families.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm all about. I keep going back to this. Like, we don't want to see people blow themselves up. And I think, for a lot of people, when you get to that point, like, you're thinking, you know what, I do need to take my farm to the next level. Like, I've gotten it to a point, but I need some help to get it over the hump. That's really when you're getting close to the point of potentially stepping on a landmine. Early on, you're going to make some mistakes. It's more on the nuts and bolts side. Maybe you kill some chickens. Maybe you have your cut selections done wrong with a pig, and that costs you some money. This is kind of at the point where, like, that mistake could cost you your business. It might cost you a relationship. It's going to cost you something that's a whole lot more painful, and that's what we want to help people avoid. And we also want to see them be successful. And because of how this is going to be structured, by filling out that questionnaire ahead of time, by knowing that Diego and I are each going to read through this questionnaire ahead of time and be mentally chewing on these things, we're going to get a whole lot accomplished in half of an hour. And the other thing I will say is that, for me personally, my biggest aha moments in mastermind type settings have come by learning from someone else who's on the hot seat, hearing what they're going through, a situation they're dealing with, a solution to their problem, whether that's marketing or production or cash flow, what have you, because inevitably, somebody else in that room has probably faced this exact same situation or something very, very similar. And sitting back and listening to that collaboration where the others who are sitting around and listening, where they get to kind of chime in, literally some of those solutions will make the whole trip worthwhile, because you get these big turning points in your farm, in your business, in your life. And I've seen a lot of relationships get formed from these types of sessions that continue, for years. And it's, iron sharpens iron, right? So when you've got somebody that you can confide in, talk to, call and bounce an idea off of them, the relationships that you make in a session like this are just so worthwhile. And something else you mentioned, Diego, was you get immediate access to the course. Yes, you also get immediate access to the Facebook group. And I'm telling you, look, this is a private Facebook group. There's no one in this group that either hasn't gone through the online course or the in-person workshop. And when you ask a question out there, you get, pretty quick, very solid opinions, comments, suggestions, answers from a group of people who are walking through the same things that you're walking through. And I don't want to undervalue that resource. You get continued access to me. I mean, if you tag me on a comment in that group, I'm replying to it, and there's no additional charge for that Facebook group. So make use of it. It's a wonderful resource.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes along with workshops and courses that gets understated. The value of that group, which I think you've referred to as your baby in the past because you've really cultivated that and built that into a strong group that is cohesive. Everybody there is supporting other people. And I can tell you from doing live events where I've sold, had thousands of people come to conferences in the past, there's a unquantifiable value to getting together with people in the same position that you're in or in a similar position. It reinvigorates you. It gets you excited. It shows you that you're not alone. Sometimes it's really nice just to shoot the straw with people who can identify with what you're doing. Too often, I think people as entrepreneurs feel alone. Sometimes their family or their friends, they don't get it. They don't support them. Here's a supportive community in person and one that you'll be able to go to online to share that. The other thing that I don't think is going to get any value is the questionnaire we're going to send everybody to join this workshop who signs up. It's a very detailed questionnaire that I put together, and I guarantee if you just fill out that questionnaire seriously, you will get a ton of value out of just filling out that questionnaire because it's going to force you to take some of the stuff going on in your head and put it down into paper. That's going to make you X ideas off the list and decide, okay, here's what I am focusing on. And it's going to allow you to maybe solidify ideas that you had before. And it's also going to put it in your face. I think sometimes when ideas are in our head, we don't fully realize whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. When you write this stuff down, it brings order to disorder. Everybody who's coming is going to do that. And I think this workshop is really aimed at people who are serious. I think there's two types of people in this space. There's the people that want to dabble, and that's great. I don't think that this is the workshop for dabblers. And then there's the people who want to take what they're doing and really make it into something special for them, however they define it. Maybe it's a small enterprise on the side. Maybe it's to eventually become the primal pastures of Texas. But this workshop is for that group of people. And I think you have to ask yourself, what group am I in? Am I in the dabblers or the people that want to take it serious? If you're taking it serious and you feel like you need an additional shot of adrenaline here or some help, a knowledge bridge, and you want to get connected to a community, then this is the workshop for you. We have a lot to offer. Come with questions, come open-minded, come ready to learn. And I guarantee that Darby and I will talk and work ourselves to the bone until we can't talk anymore to make sure that your experience is worthwhile. And I know Paul's is the same because both you, Darby, and I realize people are going to spend hard-earned money to come out here, and we want to make sure they get every penny's worth of it.
More than that, we want to make sure that they get way more value than they're paying for, and that's just kind of how you and I are both wired, and something that we bring into grass-fed life, and anything we do is to undercharge and overdeliver. And look, to that end, something I want to mention here. Two of the seats that are already sold are going to guys, one's in Texas, one's in upstate New York. They're traveling to California after having traveled to Indiana for one of the 3-day in-person workshops that you and I put on. So I want people to let that sink in. These guys have already been through a workshop with us, and they're investing again, and they're both at that stage. And I'm really excited to see what these guys are doing. I mean, to see how they're scaling up their businesses, because I get the questions. They'll reach out, they'll ask for advice, and they're taking that next step, and they're working hard. But for them to make the commitment, I was really blown away that guys who, again, have been to an in-person workshop, they've already absorbed a lot from us, would make the commitment of time and finances to travel, 1,500 to 3,000 miles to go through another workshop with us. And that made me feel really good, to know that, that, look, people vote with their feet and their dollars. And these guys are voting with their feet and their dollars to say, this is worthwhile, because I know what I'm going to get.
Yeah, this workshop isn't for everyone, but I think the people who it is right for and who do show up will get a ton of value out of it. That workshop is coming up here in late March in Southern California. So you'll fly into San Diego or Ontario, California. For more information on that workshop, visit grassfedlife.co. If you have any questions, feel free to email myself or Darby. Just send it to hello@grassfedlife.co, and we'll be happy to answer your questions and get you any information that you need to help you make a decision on whether this is right for you, or if it's too early in the process, or if there's some other course or something else that we offer that's a better fit. So check it out at grassfedlife.co. There you have it, Darby and I on the Growing Your Farm Business Mastermind workshop. If you want to learn more about that workshop, visit grassfedlife.co. And if you do make it out here to Southern California this March, I look forward to meeting you. That's all for this one. Thanks for listening. Until next time, be nice, be thankful, and do the work.